Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States. And
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Monday. I'm flying solo right now, but we'll see what happens. So we are going to continue to cover Mr. Mark Latunski and his odd case of crazy. So I'm really excited. It's gonna be uniquely disturbing today. Because when we last met, we were just getting to the part where he was talking about how he prepared and ate the testicle. So, I'm excited. I hope you're excited. We can be excited together. We will get right into it today. Also, I took time to try and clean up the audio, so hopefully it works a little bit better. If it sucks, we can go back to the native video. But I'm hoping, that I was able to clean it up and it sound like people don't have as many problems with the audio. So, with that being said, let's get into this crazy son of a bitch.
And I don't mean to interrupt, I just was back to, so if you don't mind, I was just curious of...
Hang on, I almost forgot to say hi to everybody. Damn it, me. We have the 3 beers. We do. He's in my neck of the woods, too. We have the lovely Impish. Daza, what's up, buddy? Sleazy, good to see you, man. Beers made a comment, so I had to. It's supposed to invoke different things. Yes, I did. I did it to spite Beers exclusively. And then over on Rumble, we have Impish. So we'll get back to it. Sorry about that.
How did you do that? Did you cook them? Did you... where did you do that? I mean...
on the kitchen.
Whether or not he cooked bacon.
Like with the frying pan?
It was the griddle. I mean, I eat Rocky Mountain oysters anyway.
Sure.
I have a carton of them that I bought. And so it's really very simple. You slice them thin, you saute them with some Worcestershire sauce, and once they're done, you just eat them. The other portions were going to be a jerky and the like. I mean, I didn't know that at the time, and so afterwards, and in fact, I mean, yesterday, maybe it was, well, that's not what day it is now.
That was Saturday morning.
But I just ordered a dehydrator so that, I mean, I said not knowing, just so that I could continue to process the way and do what he wanted me to do.
So you would have taken more of his body and put it in the dehydrator?
Absolutely.
Rocky Mountain oysters. He had a case of Rocky Mountain oysters, and he said, well, fuck it. We'll make them just like we used to. And he ate him like a Rocky Mountain oyster. And then he used the rest, or was going to use the rest, to make people jerky. People jerky. Gross.
Absolutely.
Where's the dehydrator now?
It's on order at Alora. I didn't order it until after we talked, and he said that that's what he wanted. And so I
again, they stop the audio when it's something that's incredibly sensitive or
Was there other
mentioned to victim.
locations within the house that you guys? Within the house?
No, only the kitchen, where we started in the kitchen, and then we went downstairs, and then everything was there.
What happened in the kitchen?
It was like, and I'm going to say the best description is where he was he was on him, and it's he and so it was a matter of having different, and I'm going to say it was like different responses in order to say how do you work through that, because it was something, and it was
so there was no actual sexual interactions in the kitchen, just
correct.
No. Up there, you or vice versa.
No, but
and that was all Tuesday night, the 24th, going into the 25th.
The 24th going into the 25th, and and then I will say is that after it was done, I looked at myself and I went, I was covered in a little, not covered, but it's like I had some on me.
The way in which Latunski describes cooking and eating
Wow.
bacon leaves one to believe that, given the opportunity, he would continue to do this with future victims.
And I looked
Just for
at
you.
it, and it's like I had done what I needed to do, and I could
Hey,
wash
Barb.
this off. No, I'm not going to. And at that point, I went upstairs and I crawled into bed, and I just left it.
Did you ever wash those sheets then after you laid it and blood on it?
No.
Hey, Jude.
And when I got up the next morning, because I rested, just lightly, I got up and it was middle of the afternoon when I was supposed to go over and we did it on the 25th. And I looked at it and I went, you know what? I'm not. And I left it right on. And I put on what clothing I had. And I went, I'm not going to wash him off.
Where did you put the clothing that you have him on you?
Oh.
No idea. I mean,
You never washed it?
no.
Do you remember what you were wearing?
When we were having our fetish dance, nothing.
Wait. He's one of those psychos that he's like, oh, I gotta wear the clothes that I killed this guy in. Like, this guy, let me tell you, holy hell.
What was I wearing?
You said you had blood. Did you have blood on your clothes or just your body? Naked
Just
body?
my body.
Just your naked body.
Yes.
So at the times, and then the time that you assisted him in passing, did you have clothes on at that time? Or were you
No.
naked? Okay.
I was naked.
Okay.
I had no.
So there would be blood on the
Holy
sheets, though.
shit.
Where you could lay down if it came off.
It would be dried. It would be whatever sloughed off. And I looked at it and
Bobby, I take it that you haven't been around this fucking psycho. This is Mark Lutunski. He had met a gentleman on Grindr in the Flint, Michigan area, and they had hardcore gay sex. then there was supposedly a trust fund, and he's the Swedish royalty or some shit. And so he killed him. And then he proceeded to chop him up. And we're just getting into the part where a portion of it he chopped up and ate with some Worcestershire sauce. And I'm not saying that ever again. And then he was going to make jerky out of the rest. So, yeah, he killed him, ate him. This guy is a true psychopath. And yeah, I don't think he prints sticks. I think he's just a psycho. So we're listening. We're kind of multi-parting this. We're listening to our third episode on this interview because it's something special. And then we're going to move into the actual court case of it. And then we're going to move into, some reactions and then all kinds of stuff like that. So he cooked them in a pan. And for those dads, I would appreciate that for real. For those of you like Corn Pope that are here now, he just talked about that. Of course, he didn't shower or, wash the clothes because he enjoyed this man's blood all over his body and his clothing. So, he's that kind of psycho. What the fuck? Try that again. Worcestershire sauce. Is that better? Worcestershire? Worcestershire? Barb, I specifically didn't eat dinner tonight because I was like, I knew it was coming and I was probably was gonna come back out. Worcestershire? Okay. I'll take your word for it. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. This guy is something special. Now we're cut up. We'll get back into it.
Again, maybe my thinking of saying, you know what, I'm not going to wash this off. And even when I was talking to someone, I don't feel that I did anything wrong.
Did you tell anybody else about this?
Wow.
Other than us?
I did, because part of my culture is that if you have an honorable death, then you have to tell somebody before you pass 3 houses.
What?
And so I looked at it, and we've even talked about this, because he gave me the name.
You and... What'd you call him?
I actually never used his name. It was only just before, and he looked at it, because he says, wow, you really planned a lot of this. I said, I planned nothing. I said, I planned absolutely nothing. I said, okay, let's say that the police have a problem with it. I said, the police have a problem with it, then what?
Barb, no.
Throw me in jail. Or they try to. I said, I guess I'll just have to deal with that.
It sounds honorable.
Where's the shear?
It sounds honorable.
Well,
Okay.
But in order to make it honorable in my culture, I did have to tell someone. And even when I talked to him, he says, just call me Kevin Bacon. And I went, okay. I said, if I say that I killed Kevin Bacon, he says, no one's gonna believe you. I said, I could tell anybody, and no one would believe me because of my name. I actually texted before I ever did anything.
Please go back and start.
And I texted
like the beginning.
A friend who was, and I'm going to say, what's the correct
Red and D's. Go back from the start. He talks about his preparations, and then I pronounce Worcestershire very difficultly and stupidly, and then chat tells me how I fucked up, and then we get around to this point. So he talked about the preparations and all that kind of stuff. So, oh yeah, he's incredibly casual. He, like he just said, he doesn't think he did anything wrong. He's just rolling through his day. Like, yep, I killed him. I ate him. Blah blah blah. So, yeah, he didn't wash anything off when after he killed him. The bodily fluids. So, eating steaks with no salt, no Worcestershire. Just garlic, onions, and pepper. I mean, it's okay, but also said, oh, that's fine. Yeah, he said that. He'd eat him again if he got the chance. He would make jerky out of the rest. He cut the rest into strips to make jerky at the later date. Yes. You can thank Beers for that, because I told Beers that Beers made a comment that I was going to be late and gay, so I was specifically on time just for that.
Judge advocate in New York, and I sent him a text and I said, you know what, I did this. I said, and I love him. He's my hero. And
I'm sorry, who's your hero?
I killed Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon is my hero.
I don't.
And who did you send that text?
I sent that to who was in New York. He also, like I said, encounters different people with all kinds of different needs. And like I said, at that point, I just texted him and I said, okay, my God, I don't need to do anything else. I was able to tell someone before I even left the house. And at that point, I went, I'm done. You know what? I did it. I complied, and then I went to sleep.
Latunski continues to insist that this is what Bacon wanted, but there's no way anyone could possibly believe this to be true.
And went off to Christmas, and that was when I talked, and it's like, and it was really strange because working in the healthcare, was working in nursing homes, and he says, he was talking about how undignified, how horrible sometimes we let people die in that way. How they drag out. He actually came to tears. I said, someone who had joined us for, I actually don't even know his last name. I actually got a text from him because he thanked me for the discussion that we had, and he wants to, just come out and spend some time with me. But for a completely different reason. Because we didn't talk about this. I put it completely out of my mind as far as saying, you know what, it's done, and now I'm just going to do the things that I agreed to do to the best of my ability. And I hope that I'm able to do that instead of opening up something that he never wanted opened. And so
I don't know if you covered it with Josh. When did you end his suffering? Was he on the ground when you did?
He was on the ground.
Okay.
Because he was still in this position, and what I did was I had to move his head in that because at that point I would.
So did you lean over him?
I leaned over.
Can you demonstrate? Pretend his head's against that wall. What did you do? really tell me what you did.
I saw that it was going longer, and I took his head and I moved it to the side and this way. So it was as much as I could in order to, whatever it was.
Sorry. I wanted to hit a couple chats real quick. Chandler has a link. I don't know if something came up, but she's definitely welcome, and she has the link. So if she shows up, she'll jump in. He was on Grindr. He was absolutely yes. I got that. No comment. Gross. No, Bacon wanted to be eaten. Like, for real. He wanted to be eaten. Like, supposedly. So we get into this argument whether it's okay. So there's probably still human particles in his beard. No doubt. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the most insane part of this whole video is this whole interrogation is he's just like, yeah, I did it. Whatever. Something about gay guys and wanting to get eaten. Yes, Brian, stop sending messages. Damn it. Drive. Shut up, Landers. It's gross when you put them. No, it's gross when you say things and you don't know what they mean. All right, continuing on.
It at least initiated another gas that was there wasn't the spray like there was the first time, so it was at least more effective.
So when you say the spray the first time, what do you mean?
That was when
So the spray on the wall is what you think, what you're referring to
I
as the
cheated
first
and
one.
looked ahead. It's a skirt.
Then when you did this,
the second one, it was just, it's like I need to end this as quickly as I can, and that was after that I could tell that he was.
I literally feel bad for these two police officers. They are disgusted, but you have to remain professional. So you have to keep asking. You got to keep getting the questions. I mean, normally people have some apprehension after they kill people. This guy doesn't care. Like, he's just like, yeah, whatever. This is not the normal dynamic of killing and eating someone.
Unconscious, and that was when I started to.
Yes.
When he got I was using the class from and it was after it was like, okay, I need more things.
I 100% just addressed your last one, the cop.
So that's when I started, getting as much rope as I could to get that going.
did you have to put the rope on the attached to the ceiling, or was the rope already there?
No, I was running the rope.
I think this guy back here definitely looks like he's about to lose lunch.
Hook was used for, it's that for other suspension. I had a guy hanging by his balls. running the ropes
Oh.
through, as
Generally, what two adults do behind
Oh.
closed doors is their own business. This is one of the very rare cases where that doesn't apply. Even if Bacon had expressed a desire for things to end this way, it does not give another person the right to actually go through with it.
So you just put those ropes up for, we'll call him Kevin. So you just put the ropes up for Kevin Bacon, or had they been there for a couple weeks before Kevin Bacon?
No, that they had never, those ropes those were all done that night. And in fact, before he got there, that rope, we tailored it for some of the stuff that we were doing.
If you want to talk about rope bondage, yeah, I'm casual about that subject. 100%. Yes, they do. And might be, never mind. Gross, he's wearing finger extensions from the leftovers. Yeah, maybe he's an alien, and that all makes sense now. Get that man a bucket. I'm gonna need a bucket if anybody has a spare one. I agree, Bobby. You eat all the bacon you want. The victim's name is actually Kevin Bacon. And there's some interesting puns in like the news articles and shit. Yeah.
Because the ends were framed, and because I don't like to waste things, I've just taken and I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, whatever it was, I had recut some of the ends and done that and taken them upstairs, put them on the stove, and so you'll see with the ropes that they're seared on the ends so that they don't fray because they're polymer ropes.
In the basement, though.
The ropes that are in the basement, and then because I was trying to readjust and get them up so that I could get some of the sand out to get it out to the flower bed, is that the ropes as you saw them today, all of that, because I've been working with it for the past couple of days to, whenever I can to try to get everything. I was just trying to get everything right so that I could, just make it happen. And like I said, but
Where is your van now?
Jesus.
blew a piston rod in his car. And so today I took my van to him, took his rental back to the Randy Wise there in London and Dutcher. And then I went to, so he has my van, and then I had Hank Graff and Duran pick up my truck so that I can get the truck roadworthy. So he has the van on just off of Grand Blanc Road.
So he said he has your van. And
Fucked up part is I know where all these places are.
and who is he you again? If I missed it.
How familiar are you with the leather fetish community? He's been my alpha's mate for for the past 5 years. But when he started to exhibit characteristics of an alpha, and that was another reason why he got his own apartment. You don't put two alphas in the same building.
So was your partner until he showed too much dominance where you're like,
that point, he got a boy of his own, and I helped him do that. But
What do you mean, get a boy?
well, he has a man who helps him out, not a partner.
Okay. I don't want to say it wrong. That's why I'm asking questions. That's why I'm asking questions.
We followed half together. It was alpha's mate, and then anyone else was either a beta, submissive, or whatnot. We did not have an omega with him exhibiting, and he's older than I am, with him exhibiting dominant characteristics.
The detectives try to get a clear picture of Latunski's relationship dynamics. They need to know if this might be something that has happened before.
Oh, wow.
And been covered up, or if anyone else could possibly be involved.
To the point that he was willing to say, no. It's like, that doesn't fly. You see how that works?
Animal Kingdom shit,
You play
maybe?
that with my dog. You play that. I'm the alpha dog in this house. You're gonna do what I say.
You're going to do what I say.
Not sexually, but
and
as an alpha dog. You know what I'm saying? I hear you.
So when and it was and I'll tell you it came from GMC.
Mm-hmm.
In all of my stupidity, last January I decided to get him some of that he would
It
have.
was your own fault.
It was my own fault. I did it myself. It was my own fault. I got him some, and he went on it for, I think it was about 2 months, maybe even 6 months. And one day I can't even be in the same bed with you. And I looked at what was going on. And we charted our sexual history. I just look at this, it's a straight line down. I said, the second you went on that, it went from flat to this, and here we are today. I said, you've got to get off of that. He went off of it, and what happened? We went right back up. And then he went to GMC, and he got the generics, and he says, look what it's doing to me. Look what it's doing to us. What it did to us was, you now had an alpha who was older, who was saying, no, I'm in charge. And you had one that had always been in place saying, if you're in charge of something else, because it ain't going to be to run roughshod over me. So first we separated on 2 different floors. But then when the house fell apart and there was all other stuff going on and he got sick.
I think we do in rare instances. He did not get it. Just so you know. No, this is a total piece of garbage, and he doesn't deserve to continue to breathe, in my opinion. But that's our system.
That was when I helped him get an apartment. So that we're still together, but we're in 2 locations. And I look at it and I say, no, we can be there, we can be here. We can maintain that.
Do you know his address by chance?
Hey, that works.
I don't know it.
Michigan Crime Stories podcast series name, Christmas Eve Cannibal.
Actually,
Okay, I'll look into that.
And that's where your van's at?
and that's where the van is.
Damn it, Bobby. I have to keep up suspense. That's
Well,
probably
Yes,
next
Friday.
week or the week
Friday,
after.
Thursday. Today right now is Saturday.
Friday.
So he got Friday.
They got it on Friday.
Did he see Kevin in the basement?
No,
Did you tell him anything about Kevin?
I did not. You know, and it's just a matter of I already told somebody. So
And that was the guy you texted from New York.
Correct. Yes.
Is he on, like, so that text message will be on your phone?
It'll be on my phone.
Okay.
It'll be on my phone. It'll be on this phone. It's there.
Okay.
And, so, like I said, it's a matter of detail. And
I want to commend you because not everybody can do this. And follow through in your word, you're with his wishes.
Not everyone would commend me. I know that there are people who would look at it and say, "Oh no."
Yeah.
And I look at it and I say,
Pled guilty.
I know that in a lot of different ways for a lot of different reasons, and even and I was talking to the one police officer, who was looking at the palm tree in the
I didn't say anything, Scad.
Picked up a guy, and I knew that there was
wasn't
something
talking about
wrong
him,
with the
obviously.
profile when I picked him up. 6 foot, 160 pounds. No, not. I said something's wrong. But I picked him up, and lo and behold, he'd been amputated just below the leg 2 weeks earlier. He says, "I don't think I told you." And I went, "No, you didn't."
Just cause you'd be surprised.
I said, "But
Stay
let's go
tuned
decorate the
when we get
Christmas
into
tree."
more of it.
And I was sitting there, and he says, "You know what?" He says,
Oh, we haven't?
I'm gonna go right back to
AP?
I'm gonna. He says, when I'm in Battle Creek, he says the party's.
Okay. I didn't give away the whole story. I thought we did, but oh, execution's here, but at federal level. Okay, that makes more sense. So we should have the death penalty. This guy should have got it, and you'd be surprised what happened. That's why it's interesting.
Going on around me, and everyone pretends like I'm not there. And I went, well, you know what? Let's go upstairs. We got up, we went upstairs, and I just held him all night long.
At the house?
Yeah, at my house. At my house. And the next morning he got up. He was a type 1 diabetic, and he'd forgotten his insulin. He says,
The encounter with this other man went so differently from the one with Bacon. What was the difference? What made Latunski comfort one man and kill the other?
He says, "I love being here, but I've got to go home." I says, "Let's go home." I says, I'll be straight
That is
with you,
awesome.
Your life is never going to be what it was. Never. I said, but go home and decorate and put up your own Christmas tree, because those lights are going to make your winter a whole lot better. And, I dropped him off, and his friends came over and picked him back up, and it's like, even before I picked him up, I knew that there was something wrong. And I looked at it, and I think he was afraid that when I saw him with a leg and a half, that I was just going to walk out, because so many people would.
What kind of fetish was he wanting to have happen?
Oh, I invited him over to decorate the Christmas tree. It wasn't fetish. It was just.
How did you two meet then?
I met him on Grindr. I met him on. I think he may also have been Grindr. I have no idea.
Okay.
It's just it was a different social media, and it was something where we just talked, and we said, this was a.
He's very close to me, and if they do, they need to let me know, because his prison is pretty close. He ate his balls, one testicle. Yes, he ate one testicle.
Christmas tree decorating party because I didn't want to decorate that tree alone. In the past, I'd always had someone there, and it was done during Thanksgiving.
No, and that's fair. No, I don't believe the state should have a power to kill unless it is an extreme circumstances. And I think this is an extreme circumstance with, I mean, he's confessing to everything. There's no question about his guilt. There's no question about motive. There's no question about victim. Like, there's clearly all the evidence in the world. Yeah, and I agree with AP. I don't think they should have, but the reality is in some places they do. And I think this is one of those extreme cases where this man can never, there's something wrong critically in this man's brain. And I think that he needs to be eliminated. He needs to be removed. There's no rehabilitation. There's only harm to other people. So I think in extreme circumstances, like maybe 5 people ever that I've come across, like cases, that they need to be put to death. And this guy is so eerie and so like matter of fact, and so like he did it with this intention and he carried it out. So that's kind of my explanation. That could all not make sense, but that's my thing. I think this guy is just his general demeanor and the fact that he tried twice before. If you were here the first week, we watched listen to the 911 calls of the other 2 people that could have been victims, and I think that's. I think that in extreme circumstances they should be put to death, and I think this gentleman is one. He's fucked and is an argument for the state having the ultimate power. Can a lawyer in chat make nice words for death penalty or death pleas? I don't know if the lawyer's in chat. I haven't seen Oz.
So that it was a party, but this year I didn't have anybody to do that with me. So when I reached out, here this guy wanted to, was agreeable to decorate the Christmas tree, and I happened to be in Lansing. I just Battle Creek isn't that far. I can just hop down, pick you up, and we'll decorate the Christmas tree. And I get there and I see a leg and a half, and it's like he looked at me, and you could tell his face was like, okay, here it comes. He's gonna say, not interested. And instead I looked at him and I said, load up. And so we decorated the Christmas tree together. But, so it's not any, it's time spent. It's time spent with who knows who, and whatever they want. And, but in any case,
So when you were talking about what Kevin wanted and you were going to potentially use his bones for tulips, where were you planning on?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And it's one of those things where I think that there's very few cases that are so clear. Like there's no lack of clarity in anything here. I think this is very easily one of those cases. So, and no worries. Feel free to ask me anything. Like I'll try and let you know where I stand on it. So, like ultimate power of disbursement of life or some shit, like nice words. I don't know what that means. he wants you to say nice things about the death penalty and this. I missed something, but I wish that I wouldn't have. But oh, home is where the beer is. Oh, got it. Gross. Yep.
Putting his bones, I guess. I don't understand. Talking like, where were you going to plant that stuff?
Actually, he wanted me to get the tulip bulbs off to his family somehow. And so one of the things he said was, get them to, because I said, if I have the ability to get his family from...
All right, last time, and then I'll let it run for like 5 minutes uninterrupted. Personally, all PEs and people like this guy all deserve to cook, but it has to be 100% proven fact to be sentenced to death. The problem is the state, when they have powers like that, continues to push to where 100% no longer becomes 100%. It kind of becomes 75%. So, or you get, a jury in New York that obviously has a bias. Like there's problems with the system. So I think just a blanket, I think it has to be something that's so incredibly clear, like this individual, to make it happen. So
the south side of I-69 to the north side. If that comes about, then they're going to be on the north side somewhere. And if they're on the north side,
yes, it is.
Tulips show up with a bag. Here's the tulips, and this is what you put on them.
So where did you read about that? Like, how did you know that? Like, I have no knowledge. Like, how do you know it will help?
Helps with any growth of plants, but tulips in particular, like bone meal. But the big thing about tulips is that they are the starvation grade plant. So when you can't get potatoes at the grocery store, you've got the tulips sitting in the ground, and you're the only one who knows where they're at. So the person who plants the tulips and keeps them growing is the person who knows where to dig, because in the wintertime, you don't know where the tulip bed is.
Using Bacon's blood to feed tulips, which he then intended to give to Bacon's family, makes perfect sense in Latunski's mind. Are there any other secrets hidden in his garden? The detectives will have to check, just to be sure.
So that's
the blood of the tulips that he was going to give to the family.
And the Dutch learned that in World War I, is that you can't eat the tulip bulbs out of the stores. They're all covered with the herbicides. You have to have a second-year crop. You have to have something that has been planted and tended so that it's edible. And that was something that, as we were talking about it, I said,
with Kevin Bacon, Brian?
Is this something that he says, get some tulip bulbs to my family in that way. It's just, they don't need to know what it is. They just need to know that tulip bulbs arrived.
What caused you to, like, what was that about?
That was, it was the new moon. I normally do Rocky Mountain oysters on either the new moon or the full moon. It wasn't until after I went upstairs and I looked out and I saw that it was the new moon that I looked at and I went, you know what? This is where I'll start. could pull out some out, or there they are, and I will start with what is right there.
So,
But that you, like I said, at that point, he was already gone.
Sure.
It was post-mortem, and it was just a matter of saying, look.
And you said you put Worcestershire on them.
I put the Lee and Perrins Worcestershire.
Yeah, did you miss that the first time?
And that's just, the griddle is right there, and because that's how I normally eat them. I mean, I had a friend from Ohio that came up, and I tried some of the recipes with Rocky Mountain oysters, and they just produced so much volume that I found that just thin slicing them with Lee and Perrins was best. And I went, well, if it works for the standard Rocky Mountain oysters, it should work for these. And
so that leads me to a question. And again, I appreciate your honesty. I can't make it up.
I'm looking at it, I'm saying, it is what it is.
And again, that proves to me the type of person you are. The honesty and the.
Like you said, it's not a matter of, some people would say, okay. And I think some people would say, not okay. But
So has this ever happened before?
No.
You've never assisted anybody with these type of wishes or
No, I haven't.
or eaten anybody else's or any other part of the body?
No. And I told him that as well. I've never done this.
Well,
I've never done it.
What you just got done saying, though, was that that's how you normally eat them.
No. I have a carton of Rocky Mountain oysters that I purchased of standard. I bought them from Marin Duff meat.
Rocky
Mountain oysters are just
Oysters, yeah.
yeah. And so that's how I had learned to just take the Rocky Mountain oysters, then slice them, put them onto the griddle, put some Worcestershire sauce on them, and I figured if it works for those, it should work for these.
So with these fetishes, how long do you think that you've helped you?
Latunski claims he has never done this before, yet his plan was fairly detailed for someone without any type of experience. He also had no real problem with going through it all, as if bacon was nothing more than livestock to be killed and consumed.
As an alpha, if I say something incorrect, I don't mean disrespect, I'm just trying to put it in my mind. So you as an alpha, you have these other men that seek out you to help them with their fetishes. How many men do you think that you have helped with their fetishes? Ballpark figures.
How many?
Or for how many years have you been, say, this type of a role?
Well, prior to about 6 years ago, I was submissive. I was a switch, or such. I get thank you letters or notes all the time from people all over the world.
So people from around the world that come to
not either online, or like I said, it's because I run a very open forum, so that anybody can contact me and know who I am.
What's the forum called?
I use Facebook. I use I use Facebook a lot.
What's your name on Facebook?
That's Olikos, K. Lucas, and that's Olikos, in Greek. I do keep it. I'm going to say it's not open to everybody.
Sure.
If you're a friend, then you can see what's going on. And so, either in conversations or in real life, then I'm glad to. I've had people come in from Ohio. I've had people come up from Indiana. We go down to Chicago. We've been to Washington, D.C. We've seen people all over. So when you have and I'll tell you, and I said the same thing when I was talking to Joel yesterday. I've looked at the gay or fetish community. Do you know how many alpha males there are in the entire state of Michigan?
How many?
I've only met 2.
You're one.
Before he finishes, let's welcome Anarchist Chicken for a debate on the death penalty, which this guy should totally get because it's going on in chat. Jacob was eating the leftovers, so he'll have to catch up. And Corn Pope, yes, if you watched the first episode, we went through the 911 calls. So, of the other ones. And
Clap, motherfuckers.
Oh, there he is.
Look, you're not going to get much debate out of me. I genuinely believe that where there is 100% certainty that someone has done something, and that does go so far as not just relying on their own confession, because there are people out there that will confess to all sorts of bullshit.
Yeah.
I do think there are genuinely instances where, for example, if you have 10, 12, 15 individuals that see you murder somebody, you know, even maybe a single murder might be a little bit too far. If you go beyond that to where you're actually a danger and menace to society and may cause a net negative in the population, then I sort of think you've forfeited your right to breathe.
So this guy supposedly only murdered one person, but we have at least 2 911 calls of ones that got away.
Exactly.
And it sounds very ritualistic, like he has some kind of idea of doing this before. He's so matter of fact about it that I find it hard to believe that he hasn't done it before. But
whether he's done it before or not, he's espoused an intention to do it before, and he may or may not have done it in the future if he was able to continue. So
yeah, I think there's absolutely no doubt that he would have been able to, or he, you know, in his brain, been interested in doing this again. So it's God, he's a psychopath though. Like I'm trying to put myself in his, like, in his mindset or his shoes, and I you know, I've listened to comments for, this is the third video, because we're you know, getting close to the end, hopefully. Well, not really, we're about halfway through this one. This man has no sense of this was wrong in any way, and Impish brings up a good point, that is this not the definition of insanity?
no, because it's not whether or not you can discern right from wrong. It's whether or not you have the mental capacity to understand your actions. He is very clear, very coherent.
Yeah.
And there you go, Impish. Yes, he still possessed the mens rea to engage in the act that he was doing. This wasn't done recklessly, that this wasn't done accidentally. It was an intentional act.
Okay.
So, no, there's no way in hell he was being found mentally incompetent.
Even though you have this was a ritual and he was paying me through this trust and he asked me to do it and all that bullshit. I know we haven't got into that yet, and you probably haven't watched all of it. But
no,
yeah.
if anything, the complexity of what they went through to actually have this go forward leans more heavily into he was going to get butt fucked by the court.
Okay. Well, he would probably like that, but I can't announce what happened yet because SCAD might kill me and eat my balls. But it got real interesting. So we'll get into that. That will probably be next week. So he's clearly a sociopath. Yeah, talking about he's talking about, we're getting into naming two alphas, and I'm going to get doxxed really heavily because I know he's going to say my name. Because obviously I'm the only other alpha in Michigan. So if he says anything else, if you tell me what happens, I'm going to say the R word.
Wait,
10.
we're still on YouTube, right?
Yes, sir.
God damn it.
We're an hour and 2. I really don't give a shit. Like, this is probably... I'm surprised none of these have got struck yet, because this is pretty insane, but...
I don't know that someone would be able to claim copyright to this, honestly.
I think I'm not worried about the copyright. I'm more worried about the content. But...
You heard him, people. Mighty wants a week off.
No, I don't. Please don't. I'm just starting to get rolling. So, yeah, he's talking about tulips, being considerate, worrying about fashion, and then bam, ball eating. Yeah, that tulip thing. I didn't get that the first time when I was running through it, but God damn it, sleazy. Yeah, no thanks, I'm full. So he aren't police recording for use? Yeah, well, the only thing I worry about is I didn't get this from the police because, anyways, Genesee County is a bitch. And it wasn't publicly available, so I got it through a different source. But, anyways, the tulips thing, I missed that the first time. He used this man's blood to fertilize the tulips to then give back to the family.
I heard.
Like, what the fuck?
And see, that just gives that just gives more credence to the foresight. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, they did silence when I was reading about the recording, Genesee County silenced anything that involved victims' families or that was explicit because they didn't want the families to have to relive it. So it's publicly available now. Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. Some of the stuff in some of the reports are even worse because I've dug through a lot of this. So. All right, Jacob's joined us now. He's done eating. How's the balls? Did you eat it ritualistically? All right, I'm gonna get back into it.
No, you're one of 3 then. If I classify myself as one, there are only 2 others.
Me.
That I've met in the entire state,
And that includes your friend, correct?
well, I mean, he's in my pack. He's in my group. He's
No, I'm not.
Exhibiting alpha characteristics or dominant characteristics of his own, so we had to kind of separate.
Oh, take care, Corn Pope.
But if you were to talk to him and say, "What's a Lycos to you?"
God damn it, Barbara.
So
you're the leader of a pack.
But we use that pack dynamics. I mean, it's very common for that. And like I said, I look at it, and when we all show up to an event or we get together, yeah, the 3 of us.
Obviously, I eat your balls.
I've
Or
met
you eat my balls.
who are alphas we went to New York City. And I say, I toyed with the alpha in New York City just to see how he protected his people. see how he made sure that men that he was looking out for could go out to a social event, have a good time, get what they needed, and make it home. And so when I got too close, and when one of his group noticed me and paid me a little bit too much of attention, he took his group and he moved them off. And then the person that he had as this little soldier in arms
Yes.
closed up the circle,
The only time I want to destigmatize cannibalism
and eyeballed me.
is if they make hunting maps
We
legal.
moved from there to here because of you. Oh, good to know.
There may have been some issues with Latunski's group.
This is the
If
part that I'm
questioned,
worried about.
They
but
may be able
they're
to
not
give
long
insight
enough.
into his state of mind.
But that's all a matter of looking at how or what men need.
What's the punishment if you were to intrude? I mean, is there, so that soldier of arms protected that group. What would have happened if, based on your experience, if you would have still would have,
Well, you know,
what would be the
recourse? I'm not going to intrude like that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, hypothetically, what would happen?
That's okay, Josh. It was probably
Well-
pretty lonely over there for you.
In all likelihood,
Yeah, Jacob
I call
keeps
it circuit.
bouncing back and forth.
Circuit
But
because he had a shirt with just a circuit on it.
Gotcha.
That was at the very first, he'd address me directly and say, back off. I would hope.
Right.
If he were a more aggressive type, if he were a little bit more unhanded, then what? He just looks at me and throws a punch. You know what? You know darn well that happens.
Well, it happened, and I'm not familiar with the fetish culture, so
Well,
I want to make sure I understand that dynamic.
There are plenty of people who swing punches. It happens. You know,
Has it happened to you?
No, it hasn't.
sometimes you gotta take a beating.
I have met people who have swung punches,
Right.
and I know who they are,
Okay.
and I steer clear of them. But no one has ever gotten violent with me.
What about in your path? Do you have the same precautions? So you're the alpha. You have your people
Agreed.
who look up to you. I forget what you call what terms.
Well, you've got alpha mates, you've got omegas,
Yes,
you've got
omegas.
betas.
Okay, so if another alpha were to kind of get too close to some of your omegas, do you have somebody like a soldier at arms as you described?
I haven't put together that rigid or tight of a structure. That's something that just hasn't been available to me because, and this would go back to the trust situation, because
You loved
the
it, Sleazy.
people who have been in my life
Wait, what did you do?
have been paid by the trust.
I'll tell you later.
And it has become very apparent that they've been paid
Awesome.
in
Thanks, Steve.
one way or another. Lots of ways to buy someone.
And I meant to ask you a long time ago, I forgot, and I apologize. Did Kevin pay you for your time? Like when you were, did he? So
No.
could you have mentioned you massages for $200 an hour and then 15 for a day?
Look,
So that was nothing.
in this situation, it was there no money.
Gotcha. Okay. So here's another question I have.
So did I.
Okay. What was? You said you ate a, and that you cooked them, and you're saying that you've had them before, but then you're relating to oysters.
Well,
Have you ever been requested in the past to do something that you did to Kevin? they wanted to end their life. Have you ever assisted?
No, there have been people who have hinted at it.
Okay.
There have been people who, just kind of play around with it a little bit. But I've always, that I've shied away from it for obvious reasons, and that in fact it is, like I said, I texted because he was a little bit more, I'm going to say involved or contacted with people who not in the level.
Okay, that's a good joke. What's better than roses on your piano? Tulips on your organ. Yes, you do. Look. Yes, I am. Very much so. Favorite team. My apologies. I just dropped an X-Acto knife into my foot. That felt great.
Youch. Been there, done that.
Ow. Anyways. Yep. So I know from the policing perspective, we're trying to get more information. We're trying to, get other cases or information about other cases. But as an attorney, does this have any benefit continuing to question this guy?
Look, as a defense attorney, I would have been telling him to shut the fuck up by now. As a police officer, I can kind of see a perspective as to why they would be continuing this, but I mean, that's more your ballpark than mine.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would just be dragging it out as long as they can, A, to get a holding warrant, or probably to make sure that no one else is dead.
Okay. Yeah. And that's from the police perspective. Why would we continue to question to get into the part that they're getting into now? Is there other victims?
They want to get to the better recipes.
Gross. Disgusting. You guys are fucking ridiculous. I love you to death, but
Here's a Clinton brand X-Acto knife.
You guys are all ridiculous. Like, I'm not even wearing pants. What the fuck are you talking about? I heard that X-Acto.
You guys are assholes because I can still hear you.
Yeah.
Chicken crunchatory.
Hell yeah. Keep him talking. He has other freaks in his group. Could be a whole nest of them. Potentially,
Basically.
that could be, yeah.
That's more or less
other
where I came from. Was that they want to get as much information out of him as possible, make sure that there's no one else out there that is a possibility that could be being eaten as they speak. Because, for all we know, the cop's stomach's rumbling at this stage.
Yeah, that's true. Shout out. I know that we've been back and forth on them, but shout out to all the police officers that have to deal with this kind of shit. The decent ones, that can sit there in an interrogation room and not fly across and choke the shit out of this guy or throw up on him. That takes quite
I
a
would
bit.
have lost my stomach.
I think Baldy is about to, or he left earlier for a minute. Maybe he did then, but yeah, that's a tough job. and I commend him for doing it. Even, I mean, this is Genesee County is no picnic, so they're used to crazy shit, but I don't know if they're used to this crazy shit. So.
Yeah, but the terrifying thing is, think about it. Ordinarily, anywhere else, this would be a once-in-a-lifetime case. I mean, if you're in Utah or New York or somewhere like that, this could be a Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Hang on. I missed like 19 comments because you're wearing a kilt? No. Just no pants. That's basically what these cops have done. They said go on, and he's just talked for what, 2.5 hours now?
Mm-hmm.
Like real time. So like he was freely giving up information. Yeah, just nuts. Fuck you, sleazy. Yeah. Well, the other alpha, like I said, the other Michigan alpha is obviously me. But we haven't been friends in a long time. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Gross.
I'm not sure you even want to admit to that much.
I wonder if red garlic seasoning or good old brisket seasoning would go better with human. Fuck. I in part blame you for this chat because part of them came from you, or all of them came from you.
That's bullshit. I'm seeing names here that I've never seen before. This is you. This is the crowd that you draw.
I mean, Jacob really wants a bite. He speaks really good English for being Pharaoh.
Well, I mean, it's higher cholesterol. What is it? Higher protein, less cholesterol?
Yeah. I bet he tastes gamey.
Bet it was a rascally rabbit.
A tinfoil kill. Oh, Impish. We got to talk after the show. Yeah, but I don't know. I think that you can gain something from this, though. Like, I think he provides something so you can find other signs and stuff like that. So, he's part Savsit, but he's Swedish royalty Savsit. So.
Ugh, human
Yes,
haggis.
bacon was a little fatty. And how else could you... Like, I'm not even mad at this guy. He picked a guy named Kevin Bacon. Tinfoil kill. Yep. No. I wouldn't eat haggis to begin with, but then you throw the human in and I'm out. Okay.
I'm not saying it.
I never think about Swedish meatballs the same way.
I may never eat bacon again.
Well,
No, that's not true.
Kevin
Never.
Bacon's dead. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, eventually the the tinfoil will actually block the signal from his mothership to his brain.
Yeah, that's true. I have no idea. And she will. Yep. That was a one-time deal. Oh no. Oh, I'm going back to the video.
The fetish world, not in the gay world, but are aggressively seeking that.
The detectives continue to question Latunski about his pack, possibly looking for patterns of behavior in his interactions with other men. Was the incident with Bacon completely random, or has this been escalating over time?
Escalating.
And, that I have actually had at my house.
He started the bacon off on a low heat and gradually turned it up.
There was stuff that he had left behind, and
Yes.
with that, like I said, I played the fetish role with it, but at the end of the day, with that, I actually bought him a ticket to because. Bought who? And this is why. Is that as we were playing out the fetish role that he came forward with, that he always went back to the thing of he was really concerned about his mom. And I says, you know what?
This is Kevin.
No, not. Okay. I says, look,
Bad things.
when I really put the screws to you, all you could do was think about your mom. You're in New York. Your mom's in. You know what? If you hop on a plane and you go and spend some time with your mom, I'll buy the ticket. I said, you've got a couple hours to decide. The plane leaves at this time. We drive to Detroit. You hop on the plane and put your money where your mouth is. You're concerned about her? Boom. You can be out there with her. He sat down. He thought about it for a minute. He says, put me on the plane. Down to Detroit we went. Boom. Off he went. And so, you look at it and you say, sometimes you put someone into a crisis position and their response is, whoa, wait a minute. Sometimes you put someone into a crisis position and their response is, I'm ready. And that's the, here was someone who had actually also talked to me about, stuff like that, just as in the fetish world. And, it's like the end result was, oh, you know what? You need to go see your mom. And your mom does not need to see all of this leather here. She doesn't want to see that.
Right.
She wants to, I said, you've got nothing on your back. Get the hell out of here and go see her. Spend some time with her. And, in my opinion, that because I come out of industry and I see how precarious our world is right now, having worked in the power gen industry, and I don't mean to say this to scare you, but when little companies like GE couldn't keep power plants that are running in states like Arkansas and North Carolina from blinking, and they've thrown in the towel because they don't know how to fix them. We've gotten to the point where our society is so intricate and so precarious that, in my opinion, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I don't really see time to a reality. And that's one of the reasons why I looked at it and said, thank you guys can keep the lights on. Now that may be very fatalistic, but I also look at it and I say, that's reality. And so I'm spending a little bit more time, just as his mom is, learning how to, I'm going to say, live off the land. And so I said, that's what are,
yeah, what are
100%.
I think you made a distinction between the leather fetish world, and then are there different fetishes within each kind of world? So leather fetish, or are they all kind of the same versus steel, or exactly?
Now we're getting into gay fetishes. That's why I actually brought on Anarchist Chicken, because he knows a lot about them. He thinks he's Uncle Ted without being as smart as Uncle Ted. See, there was no rebuttal to that comment, so you know it's true.
Why would there be rebuttable to something that is absolutely 100% true? Everything I know I learnt from you.
I'm good with that.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Yep. We solved the crime. It was Flint water that turned the frogs gay. And this man.
Look at the text messages, and I know that you had asked him.
Latunski goes off on a bit of a tangent, but the detectives allow it. So far, it is still hard to understand why his interaction with Bacon went differently than the others he talks about.
You had made reference. Is there a difference in what they're speaking?
It's all over the board.
Okay, so and I don't know if you were interrupted because you've been honest with us, and I appreciate that. I'm going to be. I have a feeling this probably wasn't the first person where you helped them end their life. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to sit back and visualize how this all played out. And with your demeanor, you're so calm. And I'm just wondering, is this really the only person that that this has happened with?
I didn't say that.
You're completely wrong.
Okay.
However, and I'm going to put a however in there. As we started the conversation, exactly where is Mark Latunski? Now,
You're right there, buddy.
that is something that
Well, see, he doesn't know that he is him, though, does he? He disputes it.
Realist about it.
No, he's Swedish royalty. He's like half Sovset.
Yeah.
But not really like crazier than Sovset. I don't know. It's hard to explain. The beginning of it, he was talking about how he's basically a Sovset, but he's not a traditional Sovset. He's Swedish royalty Sovset.
So he's got diplomatic immunity and all that sort of shit, according to him.
Yeah. And he's, I don't know. It gets interesting. So, not that this isn't interesting, but.
Well, I mean, if he's Swedish royalty, I'd expect him to have the best recipe for Swedish meatballs.
They were probably to die for. I'm just saying. That was a bad joke. What's up, pineapple?
Look, I personally would have went with you probably die and go to heaven, but yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like some commie gobbledygook. He did not. And we will hold him to that at one point. Oh, I know. And I mean, hell, it wasn't out of the realm of possibility that at some point we may have crossed paths. Like, he's in my general area.
Trying to dock yourself too much.
Well, That's why I said general area. Within a 2-hour radius, let's say. So.
Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah. Well, he met Bacon on Grindr. Or was that a joke that I fucked up? I probably
That's a
fucked
joke.
up the joke.
Yes.
Sorry.
He was on Biter, not Grinder.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Mind you, I'm fairly confident at least parts of this guy wound up in a Grinder.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Talk to me after the show. I know. There's probably, out of the 20 people watching, 8 of them are probably on this guy's level.
What do they say that in a human lifetime you'll walk past like 10 or 20 sociopaths or murderers?
Oh, really? It's that many?
Hang on, let me double check.
Or the most.
The one with the least amount of bullet holes from drive-bys.
Jacob is completely convinced that 1, this guy's innocent, and 2, that he's Swedish royalty. And I thought it was a bit at first, but I'm pretty sure he's realistically thinking so.
Okay, so at any given time there are anywhere between 25 and 50 serial killers walking around the USA.
Okay.
You will walk past 36 murderers in your lifetime.
Wow.
Apparently there's been studies that will show that 3 days without food and you will turn into a murderer.
No shit. Okay.
Leech eggs can hatch inside of you. Now I'm just finding weird and disgusting things.
Oh, gross. Hey, dog mama. What's up?
At some point, you will be forgotten forever. Someday, one last person will remember you for the last time, and from that day forward, you never will.
I dispute that. There's this guy named Adolf that I don't think anybody's ever forgetting.
Depends whether or not we make it the fuck off this planet or not.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
So there you go.
Oh, that sucks. Well, it's there. You can go back and watch it.
Outside of Chicago, you walk past 36 in 3 blocks. That's funny.
Yeah. And a new dick. God, that dick is so hard.
Apparently, Impish is ruined because of that. She's been thinking about decks all day.
I know. What has he lied about so far?
How hungry was Adolf?
I don't know. I don't know.
He tried to... Oh, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I'm not doing it.
Oh. That's why he had so many ovens installed. I knew where you were going.
It was so much worse than where I was going, but then I just heard something in my ear that made it so much worse. He burned every piece of food he tried to cook.
Oh, fuck. Well, it was nice knowing everybody. We finally did it.
No, I like to think that if Chandler was here, we'd be on better behavior than this.
Yeah. It's usually here on my channel that Hayden loses it. He's all on his fucking newscaster and reading the shit all proper like, and then he comes over here and starts with the Hitler jokes. So
At least I haven't dropped any N-bombs or R-bombs recently.
Yet. Me either. I'm gonna just keep throwing them at the wall until I'm gone. So,
Well, I've
follow
realized
me
my
on
channel's
Rumble.
not getting much bigger. My channel's not going to get much bigger now, so I can pretty much say whatever the fuck I like.
Yeah, that's crazy with the YouTube ad thing that you were talking about.
Oh, honestly, if they're legitimately going to censor everything that I do now, then what's the point? I might as well pack in the towel. Like, I'm not big enough to go up against that sort of shit. I'm not Nick. I'm not Joe. I'm not, you know.
Move over to Rumble. I'm trying to do more and more over there, and I think that, in all reality, just as a programming note, eventually, I think YouTube is gonna fuck us so hard we're gonna all have to go over to Rumble. But nope, I invited him. He found it again. Oh no, Scad.
Oh, Scad. Please make sure you come around more frequently. They get so much better.
Whenever I invite Sleazy, it gets even worse, and he's also Jewish. So,
Yeah, because then we've got permission, and then we have Token Brian, and then I can start dropping the black jokes.
yeah,
And
Brian's
then-
right here. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that that's reality. So, obviously, I'll let everybody know if I can. But if they decide to get on their Yeet train again, you can always find me on Rumble. It's right there. So,
You know, they actually unsubscribed Vices from me the other day.
no shit.
Yep.
That's crazy. Well, they unsubbed me, and I'm a mod and was a member at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have a designated Mexican. The name checks
Excellent.
out. Like,
Castro, isn't that Colombian? Or Cuban?
close enough.
Yeah, they're all the same shade of brown.
Yeah, so we have the black guy, we have the Mexican guy, we have the Native American guy, we have the foreigner, and we have the Jew, like an Indian and an Asian. No, we have Mimi. Okay, so we just need like an Indian guy, and we're good.
Yeah, and we got Impish for the feminism take. It's great.
That's perfect.
I think we've covered most bases there.
Deez is Russian, so
Oh, comrade! Excellent! We can make the vodka jokes! Actually, while we're making jokes, I just want to read one out very quickly that I
go
came
for it.
across. Because it's both clever and stupid, but I want to test it on an audience that may or may not be lowbrow.
Thanks for that, Dick.
You're welcome.
You're roboting just a touch too if you're gonna read something off. So
Hang on, I'll get out of
you got
Discord.
something open.
Yeah, as always. Let me just fix up the audio.
Now you sound fine. Yeah.
Yep, thought it might have been that. Okay. Someone told me that Harry Potter is supposed to take place between 1991 and 1998, which is ridiculous because not once in 7 of those books does a single character say, "Man, the Chicago Bulls are having a hell of a run, huh?" Well, of course not. Michael Jackson wasn't a wizard yet.
Oh.
I thought you'd get a good kick out of that.
Gross.
Anyway, back to cooking testicles.
Potentially. Let's see if he rebounds. Jordan is superior over fuck stick James, but Jordan any day of the week over LeBron James. So that's what I'm saying.
Is now a good time for me to say that the most I've seen Jordan play was during Spaceballs? Not Spaceballs. Fuck, Space Jam.
Okay, go for it.
So personally, I take Daffy Duck any day.
Oh no! And just like that, there's our lead back into the stream, or back into the video.
That I remember from my childhood. I remember going out into a field with orange bean and with a shovel burying something. When I was this big, in a location that has now been converted into the cemetery that contains the cemetery plot for Mark Latunski. Dealing with that reality in a very mature way. Did I bury this whatever was left of it at that point?
Mind you, Lola Bunny spawns so many fucking furries, I swear to God.
How old do you think
Yep.
you were? Well, the last record of Mark Latunski was 1972.
Yeah, I'm saying the person I'm looking at now, how old were you as a physical person?
How old was I when that happened? I was maybe 5, 6.
Okay. So at the property,
Yeah, he watched
that you're
himself
at
die.
now, at the house right now, have you buried anything on the property?
Have I buried anything on the property?
Let me give you another piece of paper.
Okay. If the house is here, okay, my dog Lad is buried here.
Okay, so you buried a dog.
I buried the dog.
Respectfully. What else did you bury?
I have buried a horse.
I love OE.
And actually, I didn't bury the horse. When the horse drank the water out of the barn, it went crazy and dropped dead. And so the neighbor came over and he buried that
Can you
horse
put
right
horse?
there.
Can you write horse?
Horse.
And then dog.
Dog.
Have you buried anything else? Because I'm going to have a cadaver dog go out and just do a property sweep, just so we cover our bases.
You can cover your bases. There are, to my knowledge, there is absolutely nothing there buried.
Okay. Have you taken the life of anybody else? I'm speaking
To my knowledge, no.
okay. What do
They're
you
not
mean?
buried,
Oh,
just out there in the dirt decomposing.
I have not
Yeah.
taken any. I'm telling you, this is the first time this is the first time I've ever done anything like this.
Because you did it so neat and clean. Did you clean up that room at all after he was passed and after you had hung him by his feet? Did you do a lot of cleaning up?
No.
You can put voters. This is the sheet.
I
Oh,
took
shit.
the sand
What?
where the blood was there,
Sorry, never mind.
and I shoveled out one bucket that had bloody sand, and I put it on the hyacinths. And actually the hole had been dug when I was planting the hyacinths because I ran out of hyacinths in the fall. And so the rest of the hole was already there, but there was one hyacinth that was left exposed. And I just took that one bucket of sand and I put it right there.
Just put sand with
Sand
and that is
from basement.
that
And it's right there. And it's right there. I mean, that
has blood on it.
and that has the blood on it. So the cadaver dog will find that sand
I understand what you're saying. So
It's that simple. There's no way that dog won't be able to
Good
smell
D's. Fuck the Kraken.
That was it. There should be, like I said, as far as I know, and I looked at.
how long have you been at that property?
I've been at that property since 2001. Yeah, 2001. I bought it in 2000. No, I bought it in 2001, and we moved in 2002.
Okay.
And that was, I said, we. Okay. My family, or the people who were running the trust, purchased a girlfriend for me. And the easiest way to take care of somebody is to make them pretend that they love them. And so I did a fake marriage with this caregiver. Come to find out, if a DNA test were done, she's Mark Latunski's first cousin.
Okay. So you kind of married her first, Latunski's first cousin.
I
Not
married
advice.
a biological first cousin of Mark Latunski.
Okay.
And the only reason that it all fell into place was that she looks just like her dad. Just like her father looks nothing like her dad. And because I am second cousins to some of the Latunskis on one side, members of her family, her kids, are my third cousins.
Latunski claims that this is his first murder, but it is easy to see why the detectives are skeptical. To do something like this in such a methodical manner and to remain calm is almost unheard of.
So they show up in my ancestry DNA. So I'm going to the.
Well, and he has the hallmark signs. He said the horse went crazy and it died, and basically we know he killed it. He probably killed the dog. He said when he was earlier, you know, all that shit. So, I think he had the, the hallmark tendencies of a crazy person, because, yeah, it seems like, those are the ones that generally happen. You kill a dog, kill this, kill that, blah, 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 then move it up. Yeah, I'm interested to see that, so. Damn. Yeah, I didn't. What exactly? Gross. What did he say? Because I didn't hear. I heard biological, but didn't hear the rest. So if you went back, then let me know what it was. He's a biological first cousin of. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, that's reasonable. That makes sense. He's not Mark Latunski. He's a biological first cousin of Mark Latunski.
Probate system right now, trying to get my third cousins out of my pocketbook.
Gotcha.
So, I mean,
what were you wearing when you put the knife?
Nothing.
So
I was wearing nothing.
His wife is the first biological cousin of Mark Latunski. So he's also into incest.
Okay.
I did not shower. And I, like I said, I just put on, I put on a pair of socks. I put on these boots.
driving him from that parking lot to your house?
I actually had,
I believe that they're censoring it for the families, the sake of the families, because he's talking about cross-dressing, like he was putting on a skirt and all this other shit. So I think that they were trying to, as part of the keeping it from the families having to relive what went on. I probably wouldn't have, but you know.
I had him sit on a blanket and then I just look. I said, if somebody, if we're driving down the road and someone looks in, you know,
Right.
whoever be,
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, we're gonna
put 2
we're gonna
blankets
go through some of that stuff.
into the back of the van for him, so that he could, and then I turned on the heat so that it was, you know, plenty warm.
Yeah.
You know, that, like I said, I just looked at it and I went, you know, here, this way, I says, look, and as we were looking at this different stuff, I said, if you decide to go with I said,
He
you know,
sounded
then you
really
have to be
gay
removable.
now.
I said, I can see it now. We get stopped by the cop. The cop looks in the back. He sees you all the time. This is one thing that I actually said to him. I said, they stop us, and he says, what's that? And I says, don't worry, it's okay, it's consensual. And then the cop is going to undo you, and he's going to say, is this consensual? And you're going to say, yes. I says, if you don't say yes, then you better hope that I never get out of prison. You know, it's like, I laughed about it, but, you know, that's all serious because people will say yes. And then later it's like, well, no. Or I meant it to be no. Or, and you really have to be very careful of when a person is saying no and when they're really saying no.
Sure.
And
When more or less the role playing versus out of that fetish world, they're saying, no, I've had enough. Legitimately, I need you to stop. I need to go back home and you know. So when he's riding and you're driving, he basically, essentially, he's got nothing covering his legs, nothing covering his shirt.
He is.
Other than blankets.
He's and that was just part of you know, just.
Well, let me ask you this. On the topic of, is Kevin the only person that you've taken the life of? Back in November, the troopers came out because there was somebody who ran from your house.
When asked about some of the incidents involving the police, Latunski claims that what he was doing with the men was consensual. Since he also says that about Bacon, there is a better than good chance that those men did not consent either.
You know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if that was a consensual act, at what point or what caused him to flee leads me to believe that Kevin isn't the only one. And so, and that's what I'm trying to explain.
Fair enough. And this is what I will say, is that, and I don't even remember the chap's name, is that he was playing along very well until
Aw.
he got me, and you know, so you know, I had no problem with that, and I'm saying, you know, by that time, you know, all of that was all done. He was freely walking around the house. There was no problem whatsoever. I in fact had taken my eyes completely off of him. That's like, you know what? Like, if you want to see the upstairs, go ahead and see the upstairs. Go, do what what you want. It was interesting that at that point, and I don't know exactly what is going on inside of his head, but he had full ability to get his own clothes. They were right there.
But it isn't.
He went, and he went to one of the most expensive pieces of leather articles that I own, and put that on.
Wasn't it like $300?
Actually,
I think that's
closer. There's 300, probably closer to 500. But yeah,
I think that's what you told me.
Several $100.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like, okay, a bar vest, $50. You know what? A pair of jeans, you know, $60. No big deal. He shinnies into something worth a couple hundred that was a very nice, like I said, I'm going to say the nicest piece of leather article that I have. And he decides to walk out the door with that. Now, I'm just saying, you know, like I said,
Holy shit, he killed him over the leather. We figured it out. Good job, Chad. You terrified the shit out of me, I'll say that much.
Nah, get him in another one, put him in a room and see how long they last.
Yeah, I think so too. It makes me really question the extreme piercing people that hang themselves from hooks. Yeah, that's what they were talking about earlier. He put the, I don't know if it was, I didn't catch if it was a hook or if it was like one of the anal S hooks. Yeah, we're past 2 hours. So
By 44 seconds.
yeah, I often look up and I'm like, oh shit, I just said that. I'm like, oh fuck, it's past 2 hours. We're good. So yeah, I don't know if it's one of those anal hooks that is inserted and holds the individual up, or if it is one of those meat hook ones. Both are fucking disturbing, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna need therapy after this one. Potentially, yeah. They did see some weird shit going back and forth on Grindr, but I need to go to sleep. So on that shook, I'm going to go to sleep. Good night, Bri. Sweet dreams of this psychopath, sociopath, whatever. The one in the picture that I showed last week. Yep. It's the meat hook, you think? Potentially, but
It more than likely is.
yeah, I think it is too. Unfortunately, that would S hook meaty S hook. Yeah, but the S hook could be the one that goes. No, this one isn't a kilt. The other one's a kilt. So yeah, we're past 2 hours. There's a lot of fucking around at the end of it without any talking. I'm probably gonna cut most of it out, but he does reveal the skirt at the end of it. So we'll probably, yes, that is a goddamn skirt. How is my YouTube faster than my StreamYard right now? That's weird.
It's interesting.
Like, type something real quick. I'll watch both of them at the same time. Anybody. Blinders, type anything. Yeah, pleaded is a skirt, and it's not even up in StreamYard yet. Now it is. That's weird. Huh.
Interesting.
Anything from Isabel. Oh, that's even weirder because you boob came up before. Oh, that just didn't show on YouTube. Nuts from Josh Chandler. Meat is gay from Three Queers. Yeah, see? They're coming up way before. Anyways, interesting. My boob. Does boob not come up on YouTube?
Probably not.
It doesn't. Yeah, I got Isabel's what, but not my boob. Stars 121. Perfect. So anyways, that brings us to the end of another episode of this creepy fuck. So next week we'll start going into more of the interesting nature of the trial. We'll definitely get through the rest of this interrogation next week. So that's what's going on Monday. If you guys aren't subscribed to Ozzy, go do that.
Please don't.
Yes. Now I got boobs from Light Rain, and I see boob with O's comes through. Barb, I don't see your boobs. That's a problem. Yep. Oh, shit. Yes. So go subscribe to the Anarchist Chicken. Also, I wanted to, titty shit fuck. Yeah, I saw that, but boob seems to. But no, Belandris's boobs came through. Your boobs came through. That's fucking weird.
No, I think it might just be you that can't say it, Isabel.
No, I can see. Wait, can't you? You can't say boob now.
Interesting.
Huh. Because it wasn't. No, okay, so Jude's are gone too. Impish's boobs came through. I don't see Bobby's boobs.
No, Jacob, it's showing up on Top Chat.
Yeah.
Look at Barb pulling out the emoji.
Yeah, I see Barb's emoji. Huh. It could be. It's just being fucking weird because I'm seeing chats on YouTube before I am StreamYard. So, anyways, that's the show for today. Tomorrow we have nothing. Tomorrow I'm switching my off days. That's right. Tomorrow I have nothing because I'm switching my off days. And Wednesday will be the new Science and Tech Day, and I will be joined by the lovely Brian S. Coming up later in the week, we have the normal news roundup with movie night. Go vote on a movie in Discord in the box office. Following that, we have the normal Friday Lego stream where I try and build this goddamn Chinese battleship that has terrible instructions. After that, we have...
It's true, Impish. Every stream should end with boobies.
It should. We have Tall Tales number 4, and then we get back into the normals, the Clintons, and then back to Mark. So, thank you so much for joining me. Please hit that like on the way out, and we will catch you all later. Take care.